From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN Noon News.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us for your MTN Statewide News this Friday. I am Jeanelle Slade. Well, COVID-19 contributes to 5 more deaths across Montana as state health officials report more than 300 new active cases for a second day in a row. Now, 3 of the deaths today are reported in Roosevelt County, 1 in Wheatland and 1 in Yellowstone. The death toll across Montana has now reached 170. 323 active confirmed cases today brings the state total to just under 2,700. Nearly 9,000 Montanans have recovered, and at least 140 people are in Montana hospitals. Now, the first COVID-19 case is now confirmed inside the Lewis and Clark County Detention Center. Sheriff Dutton says a county detention officer in Helena tested positive Tuesday after reporting symptoms. Since then, all detention center staff and a majority of inmates have been tested. On Wednesday, results showed 1 inmate tested positive. Now, Dutton says everyone in that inmate's pod is now on quarantine for 14 days. COVID-19 is now interfering with flu vaccines in Butte. Health Officer Karen Sullivan says the Butte Silver Bow Health Department will not do widespread influenza vaccination clinics this season. She says staff is at its max trying to deal with coronavirus. Sullivan says while getting a flu shot is very important, the health department's priority is management of COVID-19. The health department normally does 3 to 4 large flu clinics at the department, about 60 organizations, businesses, and schools. The department will continue to accept flu vaccine clients by appointment and high-risk populations, including the homeless. Southwest Montana Community Health Center provides flu vaccinations and features a sliding fee schedule. And medical providers and some local Butte pharmacies offer the vaccines, oftentimes for free. Well, Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg spent her life breaking down barriers and leading the charge for the underrepresented. Even in her death, she breaks another barrier. Christina Ruffini takes us to Capitol Hill.
Ready, step.
Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's casket arrived on Capitol Hill, where she's the first woman to lie in state at the U.S. Capitol.
She does so on a catafalque built for Abraham Lincoln. May she rest in peace.
Justice Ginsburg is also the first Jewish person to lie in state. Rabbi Lauren Holtzblatt officiated the ceremony.
All the days of her life, she pursued justice, even in illness. She fought 5 bouts with cancer.
She talked about the many obstacles Justice Ginsburg faced in her life and how she viewed defeats, even in the court, as a path for a better future.
The greatest dissents do become court opinions, and gradually, over time, their views become the dominant view, so that the dissenters hope that they are writing not for today, but for tomorrow.
Only one other Supreme Court justice has been given this high honor. That was Chief Justice William Howard Taft, who was also the 27th President of the United States. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden joined the Ginsburg family and members of Congress to celebrate her life and 27 years of service on the High Court. She will be buried in a private ceremony at Arlington National Cemetery. Christina Ruffini, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Now, there were a few notable absences from today's ceremony, including both Republican Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. Well, some good news today. If you are behind on filling out Montana's 2020 census, the U.S. District Court last night came to an agreement to extend the deadline across the country to October 31st. This will allow more time for a complete count of our state's residents. It also passes additional funding for census outreach. Governor Steve Bullock commented, saying a complete count in the 2020 census is a foundational part of shaping Montana for the next 2 decades. Montanans are behind all other states but one in reporting. Visit 2020census.gov to fill out the simple, quick form. Well, it is a beautiful Friday, but winds are going to kick up. Good afternoon, Rob.
Yeah, wind's coming our way.
We need to enjoy today.
We do. Today's one of those days where we need to steal away and just take some pictures of all the pretty colors. A friend of mine from Colstrip, Dickie Peterson, captured a picture for us up atop the Beartooths. Some goats up there watching all the action there, and a nice day to be at around 8,000 feet, I think. You know, we don't have very many of those days left. Looking across the western U.S., fire weather still remains in southern Wyoming, down into portions of the northwestern corner of Colorado and Utah. Some smoke down there in southern California. Thunderstorms possible this afternoon over the Great Lakes, and more flooding from Tropical Storm Beta. Now, our air quality across the state's looking pretty good, and that's why I say today's a day where we'll have plenty of blue sky to enjoy. But tomorrow, things change a bit. The forecast in just a moment, Jeanelle.
All right, thanks so much, Rob. Well, the Montana Military Museum at Fort Harrison in Helena recently received new firearms. One of the guns had been sought out for more than 30 years. MTN's Alexia Gallo has the story.
The Montana Military Museum says they can now complete the story of the first Special Service Force with the acquisition of these firearms.
The National Center for Unwanted Firearms met with the Montana Military Museum Thursday to donate firearms to add to their collection. Firearms included a 1940s Johnson automatic rifle, a Browning automatic rifle, a Japanese Type 26 officer's revolver, and a rare 1941 Johnson light machine gun.
We're very excited that we were able to get something that was so rare, and it completes the First Special Service Force story in great detail, because we've never been able to show that weapon. Everybody asks about it. What does that mean? Everybody reads it in the text.
Ray explains why this light machine gun was important to the First Special Service Force in Montana.
This one was to allow them to be a light infantry unit and travel fast. So it was a very critical element of their training that they had here, and what they carried into the combat theater.
It took the museum about 31 years to find the machine gun. The search went abroad when one museum volunteer recently found the Johnson automatic rifle. That is when they discovered the National Center for Unwanted Firearms. They had the specific machine gun and donated it along with other historical weapons.
We're taking firearms in from all over the country. We always said that we were going to, attempt to preserve firearms. That's what we're going to do.
The museum is still working to find a permanent display for these firearms. For now, they will be in storage. Visitors can still come by and ask to see these weapons. In Fort Harrison, I'm Alexi Guayo, MTN News.
Thanks, Alexi. Now, the National Center for Unwanted Firearms is a nonprofit. It's located in Helena, and it's dedicated to collecting firearms to disassemble, donate to law enforcement, and preserve weapons of historical significance. Well, we have more ahead on your noon news. We get you on track to understand how it's possible for future passenger rail service to fit in with the already busy freight traffic across southern Montana. But first, Rob Griggs is in next with your statewide weather forecast.